Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another Northgard video here on this channel. Today with another build order video, and today we're gonna talk about the Squirrel clan. Specifically the meal build order. So we're gonna try to boost out as many meals as possible to our teammates and boost them and yeah, make their game a little bit better. So basically the full support build order, which I personally would say is also the strongest thing that Squirrel can do currently. There's also some way to get some army out early yourself if you go for economics first, for example, and just self-meal a lot. But we're gonna do a different thing here. We're gonna try to support our teammates as much as possible. There's only one thing that is gonna be a little bit different, as I would do in a full team game, basically, where I have a clear clan, is that I go for Kitchen Nightmare first. If you have a clear clan, don't go for Kitchen Nightmare. Just let your clear clan clear you. But since we gotta clear ourselves here, we're gonna go for Kitchen Nightmare first. Making our meals just a tiny bit slower, because we're gonna need to wait one lore more, basically. But that shouldn't be the biggest problem over here. We already spawned with a shipwreck that we're not gonna use here. I'm just really hoping that we end up with a second food. And lore would of course be nice. A free lore even more, so we can actually go for the chief relatively soon. Since we already need to clear ourselves, it would be great to actually get a free lore. We are getting a ruin over here. We are actually getting lucky, so we get it. So let's go for the tile. Scouting, we don't really need to do that much scouting right now. Just send them home. And yeah, go straight for the lore, so we can spawn our chief as soon as possible. Go for house 2. I'm actually gonna go a little bit wild here. Build the woodcutter's lodge and the field. You could also think about going for the stove first, but I think we should be fine building the woodcutter's lodge here. Going straight for wood as much as possible. All the other villagers go onto the field. And just get the wood to build the stove right after. So basically get the stove up as soon as the chief comes out. This would be my goal over here. So yeah, go instantly for the wood. Then we can also populate the farm. That will already give us a nice little bit of an early game boost here, having the farm already. And yeah, double food is definitely quite important when playing Squirrel, because we're gonna need so much food later on for our meals. Because the meals that we do get, the cost of the meal depends on how many villagers get affected by it. So as soon as you're gonna meal for the whole team, yeah, it's gonna be quite expensive to send out the meal. So 2 foods are definitely quite needed. If you only end up with one, look around the map if you find the second one and ask your clear if he could help you clearing it out. So right now, just waiting for the first lore to hit, waiting for getting enough wood to get my stove over here. Yeah, as soon as we got the chief, we can clear out the second food tile. Yeah. Maybe we go for the ruin here. I don't know, since we have 2 treasure spawn here, we're missing out on other resources usually, but it's actually looking quite good. Maybe I'm not going for any treasures at all here. It's basically always for the sake of making the game build actually replicatable for you, you know? If I go for the shipwreck here, if you want to replicate the build, you would also need a shipwreck. Which can be kind of tough. A little bit of micro here to save the villagers from getting low. That is a little bit easier on foxes than it would be on wolves, because yeah, foxes are just a little bit easier to kill. They have less a lower health pool. Therefore, they attack a little bit faster. So you gotta watch out there. Always try to keep your villagers over 80% of their health pool, because then they don't count as low and don't get the minus 20% production debuff they would usually get. So, building up the stove here. I am pretty sure that we can spawn our chief out of there, and we're gonna go for Kitchen Nightmare. Here we go. Yeah, our chief can be spawned out of the kitchen. We send somebody in there. And we don't have enough meat right now. Otherwise, I would already do a ratatouille here. We're not gonna do that. We're just gonna go for this tile. Probably even build a second woodcutter's lodge first. Whoop. So we can go for all the other stuff that we're gonna need really soon. You can send your chief into the kitchen. We'll also generate a little bit of ingredients here. Not as much as a cook would do, so he's not as great in the kitchen here. You can see that +1 on everything. On the cook we have +2 on everything, so specifically only 50% as good as a cook. But if you have the chief, you might as well send him there. Oh, by the way, we can clear the other foxes so they don't keep attacking us here. Kind of overseen them. Would of course be better if we would tile dance these foxes, but I'm just gonna make it quick and easy and clear them out with the chief like that, because it is usually fine. So we go over there. We now have enough resources to do a meal, so we do our first ratatouille just for ourselves, just to get a little bit of a good start here into the game. We also got 2 sheeps. Maybe we were making use of them at one point. Soon we're gonna hit 80. We can build the fisherman. Then we are probably actually slaying a sheep here and going for this tile there, so we can build the house. Ratatouille kicks in. It's not as strong right now, of course, only getting +4 on all the resources, but rather have +4 than +nothing over here. So yeah, let's go for the sheep. Clear this. Go for this tile. And build a house on it. Here we go. Villager on food. Can probably take one of the woodcutters and put them on food. And then we're also trying to build our stone relatively soon. Yeah, military path. If you're only getting attack, Guardian might be an option. We're usually not really going for huge army upgrades here. Problem with the Squirrel clan is that we don't get weaponsmith. That means our army will never be that strong than other armies. So usually going for army here on the clan, yeah, we will go for army, but it will 100% be shield bearers, because we do not do any damage here. So it doesn't really help us that much. We go for the bonus units. And with Squirrel especially, I always feel like, okay, I'm just gonna go shield bearers. I'm also gonna communicate that to my team. And yeah, we go for sharp axes, going straight for cooking mastery here now through the upper tree. Yeah, seems kind of good. So, right now, we can also think about going for a fish soup here soon. That is the meal that will give us lore. That can also be kind of nice. Here we cannot boost it by power yet. I think we're gonna wait until we have 300 fish and we can boost the power of the meal. Get a little bit stronger then. We could also do 2 normal ones actually. Could also just do 2 normal ones. So let's do that. Just boosting our lore, trying to get on cooking mastery as soon as possible. What we also got to keep in mind though is that we're gonna need to reach 200 fame before. Because before we reach 200 fame, we're not able to actually meal for our teammates here. We can only meal for ourselves. So yeah, we need to unlock a helping hand, which is the 200 fame bonus of the clan. So this is why we actually definitely need to go for stone here, so we can upgrade some buildings. It can be cool to maybe take the middle. Can be kind of nice. It's not really needed though. Like, you can be fine without the middle. You should also be able to reach 200 like that. Every meal should give us a fraction of fame actually. Yeah, we already got 10 fame out of 2 small meals. We get 5 extra fame for another small meal here at the very least. We might even do 3 fish soups here throughout that time. Meal is running out, so we're already getting ready to prepare the next one. Basically just pressing out fish soups here as much as possible, so our lore stays on a very high amount. We also get the bonus here of the ruin. Basically only taking that because of the lore I can get out of it. So, makes it also a little bit more realistic, because usually when you get cleared, you will not go for the first lore for the chief and reach the meals a lot earlier than you would usually. So, next one will be, for me, stockpiling right now. It will give me +1 resources on all that I already stacked up. What I usually like it even more for, we will get a low will here, not too bad. What I usually like it even more for is for silos not to take a building slot. That's kind of nice. You can also think about going for eradication and yeah, taking that bonus there. We can also go for it a lot later though. So yeah, I will keep eradication there. I'm not really thinking about upgrading any buildings yet. So we're just gonna do it like that. I'm gonna take this one as a scout now. The low villager. Because being low and having the wounded status, making you 20% less efficient, doesn't really affect scouts. And scouts randomly get hurt while scouting, so we might even lose the scout there, which can be an upside actually. So let's go for another house, even on the same tile, which is usually not my favorite thing to do, but we are gonna do it. And we can even get another fish soup out. This time we could even boost the duration. I think we're gonna do that. Make the feast double as long, basically. It's kind of nice. And we not really need mushrooms for our main meal anyway. We only need 100 mushrooms, and that should generally be no problem to generate for our ratatouille, which will be the main meal we'll be pushing out to our teammates as soon as we can. So fish soup is rolling again, getting a good amount. At this point, I should definitely keep my fame in mind. Also gonna have a bit of a food situation here. I don't know if I should go for a straight silo, but I think we're just gonna do it since we have a lot of wood. And it will basically help us with having a little bit more food production here. Usually can also build them a little bit later if you feel like you don't have the wood for it at that point, but if you have the wood, just go for it. Recruitment, no brainer, really, really strong lore. Now we sent them out and sent the chief in. Should be a little better. Here we go. Could also clear the tile with a chief, but I think it's gonna be too many wolves, really. Alrighty. Now we need to get the food to take this tile. So let's slow down on wood even more here. Thank God we have the sheep. That will help us a bunch. Scout out this tile. Probably afterwards scout out that tile on top of it. And we're definitely on a very, very, very good path on hitting early meals here. We need one more upgrade and one tile. This is not too far away. We basically just need 6 stone. And 120 food. The 120 food we already have. We can just do that. We can just do that. So let's just amass food at this point. Reach 200 and reach cooking mastery. So we can pump out meals. But basically, I'm just waiting for the stone here. That will give us 200 at the very least. Already pretty helpful. Should we even slow down on wood even more? I think we should. Just mass food at this point. I just want to push out the meal at the very first moment it's possible. We still need a little bit of lore here. That is kind of nice. We're not too pressed on right now. So yeah, both of the upgrades will, by the way, be the food buildings. If we later on get more stone, we can also think about upgrading our stoves. Stove upgrades are generally for happiness, of course, and generating more ingredients. Because what will be the problem with ingredients here when we spam ratatouilles is usually meat. You will not have enough meat. Because we need 100 meat to do it just normally and 200 to increase the power of it. And meat is relatively hard to come by if you don't have any wolf caves around you or stuff like that. So can be a little tough. We have an elf attack. Thank God we have the chief. So I'm just gonna put it up here because if it attacks here, it's the only real annoying thing. If it attacks over there, I can just run over. So we can upgrade the farm now. Here we go. We got 200. We're basically just waiting to hit the door now. So at this point, we can definitely get more. And we could also think about building a dock already. Perfection. Right on the tile that we wanted. And we slowly but steadily can think about healers, because our chief is low. Will not be able to defend anything anymore. We could get the bodyguard. The thing with the bodyguard is we need a camp for that. And we don't have that yet. So, more people in there. 40 lore more to go. My teammates could make it more easy for them by just feasting more. Then, yeah, we would reach the next one a little bit faster. Not that lucky right now. Let's go for the healer's hut here to actually upgrade, heal our chief. So if we get attacked again, we actually have the upside of our chief and don't need to let villagers get low. Thing is, we could also think about clearing that tile then in the not too distant future. So yeah, maybe another fish soup would have been the call really, because that took a bit of a while here. So yeah, if you want to get the meals out as soon as possible, just keep your eyes open. Maybe another fish soup can be the call. I felt like 3 is already a good amount, but I also got to keep in mind that I pushed out my chief first, which I, in a lot of cases, wouldn't really do. So cooking mastery, we could theoretically already meal for our teammates, but the level of each meal is increased by 1 by going for cooking mastery, and the cost is slower. So I would definitely prefer doing that. It costs 144 right now because the pop of my teammates is not that high, it seems. But this is the first meal, and it's also a big meal with 300 meat. So next thing we're gonna do, put 1 vil on gold, maybe even a second one. The next law we want is economics. This is the one that really lets us produce gold here. You can also go for it a little bit earlier. Like if you think, okay, let's say you didn't take Kitchen Nightmare, you can also think about going economics really, really early, because it will help you on all your self meals and fish soups and everything. You will already generate gold. But this is more something that I would go for when I feel, okay, my team is not omega strong. I might need to carry a little bit, and yeah, it's really hard to carry with Squirrel army, let's say that. But that would be the only way how to do it, basically. So you can already heal the miner. Oh, they're both low now, that's huge. Okay, stays healing on the miner, then we go into the other one. Because they both count as low now, I think. Not quite. Not quite. Can you heal him though? Thanks. There we go. So we're gonna build the second stove now. Basically to produce more... Oh yeah, we can clear this tile out too. To produce more ingredients. Because right now we are already not able to get the second big meal out, basically. So we already gotta go for the smaller one. This means we cannot improve the power of our meal. He can clear that out, so they stop attacking me, and I can also take the tile. At this point, we should already get the next meal. Don't let it run to the end, usually. Wait until you saw how much were left on the bar there. Wait until this point, so you actually, like, take the full out of the other meal and have the other meal come right afterwards, right? There you go. There you go. So the meal comes right afterwards and you don't have a break in between. If you wait until the meal is over and then get the next meal, you will have the time of the meal preparation without the meal, actually. So trying to not have that happen. So we could go for another tile. So we can build another house. It's a little bit early for that, but we can do it. Do it. Here we go, build the house. We do not have any bonus stones surrounding us right now, so we're just gonna play it with 1 stone here, which basically means that we can upgrade either 1 longship dock or 1 stove. If I would only end up with 1 stone, honestly, I would upgrade the longship dock. So rather focus on small meals here, have a big meal here and there. If I would have a second stone, I would upgrade both of the stoves first and then go for the dock afterwards. But especially in this situation here, I feel like, okay, I should be ready somewhere around 802. So yeah, do not hassle around too much and go for the things that I need. Oh yeah, we can build a second dock just over there. It is kind of nice. But we should also reach economics in the not too distant future. So get one more meal out. This one, the smaller one, like we did before. It is still good enough, right? It will still give me +6 and my teammates at the start 50% of that. So at the start of the game, they only get half of my meals, and the deeper we get into the game, the more effect my meals will have on my teammates. This is basically how Shiro changed up the clan. We're also getting way too much wood right now, so we can definitely slow down on that for the minute. It is the ratatouille that gives me so much wood, and having the woodcutters on the same moment, basically, for upgrades over here, yeah, basically lets you end up in a high wood situation. So at some point you will be able to just break down the second woodcutter slot. You're just not gonna need it anymore. So yeah, let's upgrade this dock. Go for it. So this is the first winter. It will make it relatively hard to keep on mealing here throughout the winter. So sometimes it can be really, really good to stockpile even more food than we did here. So we're gonna end up in a little bit of a situation here when it comes to food. So we're not gonna be able to do a meal right after the winter, probably. We're gonna need a minute to get all the food together that we need for that. But that shouldn't be too bad. We have another elf attack. I'm yet again just gonna bank on the elf attacking up there. Oh, we got a quad Draugr attack. That's nice. At the very same spot we get the elf attack. And the elf attack's on the other side of the earth. This is lovely. This is lovely. So... yeah. What a great time Northgard can be, huh? Let's defend that. Super unfortunate here. But that's just Northgard. It's the story of Northgard. Super unfortunate. Oh yeah, do the next meal. Wrong one. Here we go. I can tell you with other players, they will get a lot more expensive way quicker than they did over here. Where's the DPS of my villagers? It's really low. Oi, 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 oi. Oi, 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 oi. Yeah, that was hurtful. That was extremely hurtful. Definitely slowed us down and brought us into a worse situation than we were before. Let's hope we can do something here. Where were the two miners coming from? I really don't know. Holy moly, I got so much damage there. Quad Draugr attack, definitely one of the worst things that can happen to you. Basically still an 801. But yeah, we were able to block it here. At this point, I'm gonna stop one of the docks because that were actually so bad that I want to be able to get my meal afterwards. Why am I so unhappy? I didn't send the second cook out. That should be it. It is still really, really bad. Because I have 4 low villagers, okay. Would be really nice if they would heal somebody else then. Well, if he is full life, I'm also gonna be happy again. Are you? Oh, 3 healers. Okay. Really, really weird situation there. But hey. Let's get it going. So, now push food. I really, really need them to heal the chief here to full health. So, like all the unhappiness. 18 unhappy villagers, right? They will be gone as soon as this chief is healed. Because you get -1 happiness if you have more than 4 low villagers. The feast, of course, super, super helpful. Now gets me out of my happiness slump. This is why upgraded cooks can be really great. So at this point, we're just fully pushing... we're fully pushing food. We can already build the shields. Put them up there. We can break down the second wood camp right now. We're never gonna need it anymore with all the meals that we're doing. I'm gonna go for shipbuilding here. Getting more gold. And let's see, can we do another meal already? Yes. Usually, like I said, like the amount of pop your teammates will have will be a lot higher. So at this point, farmers should just repair their own building. Nice. Like probably the worst buildings that could have started burning. But we got saved. Get attacked again? No, it's not us, right? Some of the other clan members. Okay, that's nice. So, yeah, let's start scouting. Why am I so unhappy again? Because of the feast. Cool. So, let's go scouting. Cool, cool. At this point, I would like to take another tile to work against the unhappiness. I hope that my teammates won't feast afterwards to put me back into unhappiness. That would be huge. Actually, another Draugr attack first, okay. Yeah, we haven't gotten attacked enough at this part of the game. So I can't see why. Here we go. Let's go for the next one. Life is definitely a lot easier when you have a clear clan. I think we're gonna stop the dock now. Just we gotta push food now. We gotta get out of this happiness slump. So even though the dwarven will hate us, we're actually not in a happiness hole anymore. So this is already huge. This is huge. So there we go. Keep pushing food now, because, yeah, we just blow so much food. Oh, we got the sheep here. Nice. We get a sheep. One home. And are we able to get the next meal? We don't even have the vegetables. Holy moly. That's kind of wild. That usually doesn't really happen to me. Get them. Let's upgrade the cooks then. Should generally be quite nice. And shield bearers, of course. Okay, we found another player. And yeah, we're gonna cook the other meal now. Pop, pop. So yeah. Oh, how are we unhappy again? Where does that come from? You want better houses, okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna get them. Then we get another cook. It's just too annoying at this point. Yeah, if you have the chance to upgrade your cooks, just upgrade your cooks, man. Just upgrade them. It makes everything so much easier, also with ingredients and everything. But we are scouting, we are mealing. We're doing what we can. We're suddenly happy again. I don't know why. Like, we just had, like, something hit us with -2 happiness. I don't quite know what it were. Because we didn't have a meal active. There we go. When we have a meal active, we get permanent happiness here by economics, and the 2 happiness were missing. There we are. So yeah, we really got to be permanently mealing, so our happiness doesn't drop too far. There we go. Get another cook. Problem is the vegetables right now. I think we generally just got tiles that are really bad for ingredients. This is all fish. Fish is trash. This is mushrooms. Mushrooms are trash. We got 3 of these. Like, if you get a wolf cave, you get +2 meat. There's so much better ingredient tiles that we got over here. But if you end up with this, you just gotta end up getting more cooks then. Just to get the resources that you need. We need 200 for the longer duration. Ay. That is not easy to get. Scout this, and afterwards scout the main tile of the ox. We already got a relatively good amount of gold. We can also send them back. And get a little bit more wood here. Since this is really not a problem. The problem that we have is that we don't have enough ingredients to have the meals rolling. But this is something you can always work against with just more cooks. So, We could go for fur coats here, even though the upper tree is really bad. So this would be a point where I maybe think about just going eradication, that were +3 food just with 1 click. So that seems relatively good. They are done for the moment. And we should be able to see the ox in a matter of seconds. Now we can basically just spam camps. We could have also done that a little bit earlier. I would like to have a shield bearer camp in my main. Yeah, start spamming camps everywhere. Should also be able to build one there, so we're gonna do it. And yeah, now we could actually support our teammates with actual army, which is quite a problem with squirrels oftentimes, that the squirrel player just doesn't get any army out. Like, don't be that squirrel player. You should be able to make that happen. If you feel like you're having problems doing it, and you feel like, okay, my army is more important that I bring army than giving my teammates the earliest meals possible, would be before we go into the upper tree, you just take economics at one of your first lures, and all the meals you do in the early game will already generate a lot of gold for you, which will let you end up in a way different gold position in 801 and 802. Like, you will have a lot more. So yeah, at this point we could just take everyone we have and that we can send. Here we go, and have a bit of an army here. Could of course also do it earlier with less army. Can also do the scouting a little bit earlier with a little bit less army. But this usually feels like a pretty good point to do it. And yeah, then we could attack our opponent. Even though we're, as the squirrel player, are not gonna be the ones who call when we attack, right? As the squirrel player, we are usually the one that just boosts our teammates, and our teammates say, okay, when do you want to go, Mr. Lion? Oh, I want to go at this point. And you're just gonna keep your ears up, watch out when they want to attack, and watch out that you are there with your army. So it doesn't really matter how much you have. You are not the damage dealer of your team. You are basically just the best shield player clan you can be. It's not because your shields are good, your shields are absolute trash, but your shield bearers have a high resistance. And Weaponsmith will give you more attack power. Since we don't get more attack power, and the most important thing for the shield bearers is the resistance anyway, it just seems like a no-brainer going for shields. You can also go for axes. Just keep in mind that every single axe of every single clan is 20% better than yours because they have Weaponsmith. It's not actually all of them. There are singular clans where it's different, but this is why we do not even touch the middle tree. If you would want so, you can do so, but in the end, this is not where the clan shines. This is usually not what you want to do with the clan. Oh my god. They could clap us here. We should definitely not be able to kill all of these. But hey, yeah, with that, I think we're gonna do our last meal here. Oh yeah, what I want to say is with your fighting, you can also go for the sea boot buffet or the forest barbecue. Like here we get defensive power by 10%, and by forest barbecue we get a higher attack power. We're just gonna go for the forest barbecue now, which is gonna give us higher defense. I personally like it a little bit more than the attack power bonus, so the forest barbecue. Yeah, I like the sea boot buffet a little bit more because of the defense. It's hard to say actually. There might be clans where you have really high attack units. It doesn't make as big of a difference. Oh. Can we? Oh, we're not attacking the low units here. Yeah. Really think that is the choice for the Squirrel clan. Keep in mind, you can just ask your teammates what they would prefer, but I would definitely say like having less projectile damage and higher defensive power is generally a little bit better than attack power. That is really good, of course, but the military experience bonus on top is like kind of meh, you know? I would rather have projectile resistance and defensive power, which makes you a lot more resistant against army with a high amount of ranged units. Well, thanks everybody for dropping in. Hope you've enjoyed the build order over here. Hope I could bring a little bit of light into the Squirrel clan. Definitely quite a fun clan. I don't think it's the strongest of the support clans right now. Like Stoat and Goat are really, really, really strong and have a little bit more versatility when it comes to the clans. But don't underestimate the Squirrel. The meals are absolutely insane and your teammates will love you. That much I can tell you. So, well, thanks everybody for watching the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did so, please leave a like down below the video. If you haven't subbed to the channel, it would be really, really nice if you could do so, because it really, really helps out and yeah, also motivates a little bit, to be honest. So yeah, thanks a lot everybody for dropping in. Hope you have a great rest of your day and yeah, maybe see you back on the next video. Bye bye. See ya.